Hey, what's up guys? Quick video. This is for one of the subs, McDaniel, who has had nothing but kind words and just started following the channel a few videos ago. I wanted to say thank you, McDaniel, for following the channel. But this video is for him and a question that he had. And it's a very interesting one, and it's perfect timing for this question as the new displays come out sporadically this year. The question is, should you buy a display from the past? That is a normal question and one that deserves its own video, but his question is actually even more unique in the sense that he's actually looking at a 2016 KS8000. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with the KS8000, it is widely regarded and, in my opinion, is the most popular display of 2016. Now, 2016 was a big year simply because HDR really was in the front of the industry. The displays were all pushed to this ridiculously bright image with over 1,000 nits for the KS8000, KS9000, 9800. It was really when HDR was kind of coming out, and it was really super, super bright. The thing that the KS8000 struggled with was, other than the frame back of it kind of letting loose from the front, it was kind of poor build quality in terms of it becoming unglued. In terms of picture quality, it struggled with a lot of us have now become sensitive to is blooming. You know, the KS9000, 8000, what they would do, instead of just having a halo around images, you would see a vertical, the whole side of the screen would get bright. It wasn't quite as noticeable in content. You would see it mostly in loading screens, things of that nature. But I digress. The Samsung KS8000 at the time was also very cost effective in terms of what it would deliver for the price. It was extremely bright, it had good motion, it was great for gaming, and it really wasn't that expensive. It topped out at 65 inches, much like the Sony 930E, but it was much cheaper. The problem is, over 65 inches, then you were stuck with the KS9000 line. Now, why is all this important? Well, it's important because the KS9000, the KS8000, the KS9800, the flagship, they're all down in price dramatically. Now, while these products and displays have been discontinued, the question is, he is seeing the KS8000 for very, very reasonable prices, and should he check it out? Now, this is a very in-depth answer, and I know a lot of you guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and if you've had any experience in buying from unauthorized dealers, displays, or older displays, how you've made out. So as these displays become discontinued, we're going to use the Sony 900E, this year's model, for example. That display is still currently on sale. It's still a very popular model. However, it is going to be discontinued, officially discontinued, as soon as the 900F is officially launched. It is available. It's not available at Best Buy just yet. It will be in a few weeks. Then the 900E will be available as the inventory at Best Buy, PC Richards, and whatever retailers, major retailers, that you have in your region or country. Also, your Amazon.com, your Crutchfield, they'll still have what's left of their inventory. Once that inventory is depleted, they will be done, and then it will be considered no longer available. Then you will see, if you look up on Amazon specifically, KS8000, Samsung, and you'll see it from other sellers. Now, you'll see all kinds of, we'll stay with Amazon for a minute. As you are with Amazon and you go through their third-party sellers, you'll see some pretty interesting prices. You'll see them close to what they were, and then you'll also see them drop dramatically. Now, when going through Amazon, I would strongly advise you, especially with high-end electronics, to really make sure you have it through Prime. And more importantly, their A to Z coverage. Meaning that even though it isn't shipped or purchased, or it's not bought, I'm sorry, directly from Amazon, you at least have the same coverage you would have if you bought it directly from Amazon. So they would cover you if the display was defective or cracked or broken in any way. The problem with going third party with somebody that isn't from Amazon or directly through Amazon, if it shows up it's defective, you will not get your money back unless or until you send that product way back to them. You'll have to prove to them that that product is defective. So if it's not something like a broken screen or stand, they're going to have to take that product back. They'll test it themselves, and they will see if the product is defective. Now, why is this an issue? Well, guys, we know with the panel lottery, it's not merely if the display turns on or not. Defective products have banding, they have macro blocking, they have dead pixels, they have all kinds of things that might not be evident to the untrained eye. They might not be something you'll pull out a box at a warehouse, plug it in, the thing powers on, and you'll be stuck with either the restock fee, or they might not release the funds to you. Even things like PayPal, you're not always guaranteed to get your money back or all of it back. You may have to come to a compromise, and the lesson here is that yes, you may get some of your money back, but at the end of it, you'll go through all of this and you actually won't get a display. You'll end up spending some money and you may not get the display at all. Also, the fact that the KS8000 is a display that's no longer available is there isn't really an inventory, or there aren't many of them, so you aren't going to be able to send them back and get another. You might not be able, there might not be a like display that's available. So the reasons you're seeing them for so cheap is that there are very few of them in inventory. There are very few of them left. You should still be covered under Samsung's 1-year warranty. And this is where we're going to get into another conversation, is that you'll see certain other retailers online, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, but you'll see them. If you look up like 75-inch Sony Z9D, if you see that TV for $3,000 from something AV or whatever, chances are that it's a refurbished model, or it fell off the back of a truck, or it's too good to be true. Now, the thing you can do is look up online for Sony, Samsung, LG authorized dealers. Why is that important? Well, it's important that if you buy, say, for instance, let's say the Samsung KS8000, you buy that from an unauthorized retailer, from one of these online websites, then Samsung can negate or take back that 1-year warranty where they cover anything. So once we're done with our window warranty, once we're done with our Amazon 30-day or Best Buy 30-day, you do have an additional 1 year, or a full 1 year, where the manufacturer will cover something that's wrong with the display. Mechanically, typically. If you crack the screen, I'm not sure how that would work, but I'm saying at least you're covered. If you then call Samsung and say, oh, I picked it up at Joe Schmo AV, they're going to tell you, I'm sorry, that is not an authorized dealer. Those could be stolen, and you will find yourself out the money. And you're also not always guaranteed with some of these websites that you'll get the product, or if the product is going to be what was authorized. Also, will the panel be one of their top panels? Will it be one of those secondary panels that you'll see? So you're just not guaranteed a quality panel, guys. I wouldn't risk spending a ton of money. Now, if you're looking for a 49-inch monitor, something that's a little bit cheaper and it's a few $100s, then you're not really risking a lot. But when you're talking about into the thousands and you're buying something that's very high-end, as we've talked about with the 4K journey and problems with the panel lottery, they're just such sensitive components that I just wouldn't trust them to function. A lot of you guys purchase used PC parts, you purchase used audio equipment. That stuff I wouldn't purchase used either, but I see where the market is for that. But on a display, I just would not purchase it unless you're buying it from a buddy of yours. So to my boy's question, I would not purchase an older KS8000 unless you got it directly from Amazon or directly from, you know, Samsung itself. If you're looking for one from Samsung itself that sells maybe a refurbished model and you get a warranty on top of that, then you can look into that. But as far as, guys, purchasing high-end displays from a few years back, and I'm telling you, you can look for the 940D, you can look for some LG OLEDs, you can look for the Samsung KS8000. After this video, check it out, see what the prices are. If it's not prime, it's not covered, and you'll see some very interesting prices. Even like I'm saying, look up the 75-inch Z9D Sony. That TV retails for about $9. It was $10. It might be as low as $7, but you're going to see some guys that are $3,000. And that's just not possible. There's just no way the TV to sell that. I would never trust that. So please, this is my opinion. If you have had different experiences, guys, and it's worked out, then, you know, I'm happy that you found it to be that. But also remember that those of us that are into this hobby, such as myself and a lot of you viewers, we look at the screen a little bit differently than most people. We are more sensitive now, this generation, to things like blooming, flash lighting, clouding, defects. Now, those are defects that, just to go back, those are defects that weren't that big a deal to a lot of us before HDR was implemented. And why is that? Well, those of you that had plasma, love plasma. It's legendary for its picture quality. Either it worked or it didn't. There was very few things wrong with it. On LEDs, or I should say LCDs back then, unless you had a dead pixel or a line down the stream that was evident, clouding was very normal. The thing is, the peak brightness on those displays was maybe 300-400 nits. The minute you would put on a regular content, you wouldn't see that clouding. So people didn't care if in a loading screen you saw a little bit of clouding in the corner. The displays weren't really bright enough to really show the defects behind the panel. Those of you that have monitors, computer monitors, you know full well that most of them have issues with their backlights, or they have flash lighting, or they have issues. You're just kind of used to those. That's how LCD kind of used to be. But now that we're becoming more educated and HDR is pushing the peak brightness so highly elevated, we're seeing blooming for the first time. We're seeing flaws like that. The Samsung KS8000, as popular and as great as that display was, it was a very bright display that had blooming for the time. So you guys now looking and being more educated are going to find that to not be something you're going to want to deal with. If you could find a perfect one, you know, good luck to you, but it's not a display that I would go back and purchase unless you get it for nothing. That goes for the KS9000, the KS9800. Those displays, going back, just be very careful. If you do find a KS9800, amazing display. I had defective ones, but if you can see them with the prime coverage, my man that I'm making the video for, if you find a KS8000 that is covered under prime, go for it. But just make sure. Also, when you get from these online unauthorized dealers, their return plan, these places are small. They're just warehouses. They cannot afford to send you money back. They cannot afford to, they're small. They want your money, they're going to take it. They cannot afford to return numerous displays. And those of you that have followed the channel have seen that defective displays are super, super common. So I just would not risk it, guys. It's not like it's just too big a dollar value, and there's too many things that can go wrong with these displays. So to my man I made the video for, thank you so much for your question. I hope this helps some of you. I know it's so tempting. I'm going to keep repeating myself. I know it's so tempting as we see some of these legendary displays drop in price. And the KS8000 is a legendary display. And when you're looking at new ones, when you see those things drop in price, I know how tempting it is to want to go back and make that purchase. But please just take it from me. Please be careful and go authorized dealer or Amazon or Best Buy or something that is an authorized retailer. Okay, guys, I hope all is well with everyone. I hope this video helped. Take care as always. Thank you so much.